Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something big, a major government push that's all about making our financial lives a whole lot simpler. We're going to unpack a new set of economic rules designed to cut through all that complexity for everyone, from you and me to the biggest companies out there.
And this is what we're working with. Now, at first glance, I know, it looks pretty dense, right? This is a single page outlining 22 different changes. But don't worry. Our job today is to turn this list into a story you can actually understand. What's changing, and more importantly, why it matters.
All right, let's get into it. Here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the main goal. Then we'll look at your taxes, how things are getting easier for businesses, a new approach to penalties, and we'll wrap it up with the big picture impact.
So, first things first, before we get into all the nitty-gritty details, let's talk about the big idea behind all of this. It all boils down to this one phrase: ease of doing business and ease of living. But what does that actually mean?
Well, you can think of it as two sides of the same coin. On one hand, you've got ease of living. That's all about us, individuals and families. It means less paperwork, simpler taxes, and just fewer headaches in our day-to-day financial lives. Then, on the other side, there's ease of doing business, which is all about making it smoother for companies and entrepreneurs to grow.
Okay, so now that we get the overall mission, let's zoom in on the part that probably hits closest to home for most of us: our taxes.
I mean, let's be honest, for a lot of people, the answer is a big yes. Filing taxes can feel super complicated, maybe even a little stressful. So a huge focus of these new rules is to lighten that load and make the whole thing a lot less painful.
So, how are they doing that? Well, a big part of it is automation. For instance, getting certain tax certificates is now going to be an automated process, which saves a ton of time. And here's another thing that gives some real breathing room. The deadline to revise your returns is being pushed to March 31st. Plus, any interest you might get from a motor accident claim is now tax-free.
Now check this out. Here's a super specific change that's going to matter to a lot of you, especially if you travel or study abroad. It's all about an upfront tax called TCS, or Tax Collected at Source.
And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Look at that drop. The upfront tax you pay on overseas tour packages has been more than cut in half, from 5% down to 2%. And the same goes for money sent overseas for education or medical needs. So what does this mean in plain English? It means less tax gets taken out right away, leaving more cash in your account when you make the payment.
Okay, so we've talked about the personal side. Now let's flip over and look at the ease of doing business part of the equation and see how they're trying to slash through all that corporate red tape.
You know, for any company that imports or exports goods, this is a massive pain point. Getting your cargo through customs isn't just one step. It can feel like a maze of different agencies, approvals, and paperwork. That means delays and extra costs. Well, one of the biggest changes tackles this problem head-on.
The solution is this new digital single window. The idea is pretty simple, actually. Create one unified online portal where a business can submit all its documents just one time. Then, all the different agencies can access and approve them from there. The goal? Get cargo moving faster, cheaper, and with a lot less hassle.
And it doesn't stop at customs. There are other business-friendly moves too. They're making it easier for foreign residents to invest, and they're simplifying corporate taxes by getting rid of something called the minimum alternate tax for certain non-residents. And notice that last point. They're decriminalizing things like not producing your account books on time. The focus is shifting from punishment to just getting it right.
And that last point actually is the perfect segue to our next big theme. This is all about creating a system that's less about catching you out and more about helping you comply. It's a real shift in philosophy.
This quote really says it all. The new approach is to give honest taxpayers who made a mistake a clear path to fix it. Instead of facing huge penalties, you can settle the case, pay what's due, plus a bit extra, and just move on.
You can really see here how it's about creating a kind of safety net. There's now immunity for smaller mistakes, like not disclosing some foreign assets. There's even a one-time scheme to come clean. It's all about giving people a second chance to get things right without bringing the hammer down.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground. Taxes, business rules, penalties. So let's zoom out one last time and tie all these threads together to see what the big picture really looks like.
So what's the key takeaway? It's that these aren't just 22 random little changes. They are all pieces of a much bigger strategy. The ultimate goal is to build a more modern financial system, one that's built on trust, runs on digital platforms, and is above all, simple.
The thinking is, if you reduce all that friction, you make it easier for everyone to participate in the economy. So, we've walked through the what and the why of these new rules, and it's clear the goal is to make life easier. But it definitely leaves you with a big question, right? With all these steps being taken, what's the next major hurdle we need to clear on this path to economic simplicity? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this breakdown.